I'd like to introduce Silvara Lawson to you. She is a mayoral candidate for City Council here in San Angelo. And as I have been telling each of the candidates, I am asking exactly the same questions of all the candidates so that it'll make an easy comparison for the viewers to be able to compare one candidate to another in a lot of different areas. So, to get started, my very first question is, who is Silvara Lawson?
Well, it's very nice to meet you, and thank you so much for having me. I've been here since 1999. I was born in Okinawa, Japan. My dad was Special Forces. We lived in Washington State, so I was about 7. We hurried here to San Angelo as quickly as we could. So my folks loved Texas. I believe my grandmother was a natural-born Texan, and so I got the chance to go to Goliad, Lincoln, Lakeview. I was a North Side girl. I loved it up there. I've had so many experiences. From the time I was younger than my kiddos, I was traveling the United States selling hats and T-shirts at all the pro rodeos, and so I've had a very stately experience growing up. The older I got, I found my true love, who is a Wall, Texas boy. I was born, bred, raised here in Texas, San Angelo, and yeah, we have 2 babies. I'm a realtor, and I just suddenly decided that, I wanted to try and make a difference in our town. I love this city, and I just I know how fantastic we are, and so I'm ready to see what I can do to help us out.
So what motivated you to choose to run for city council, for mayor even?
Well, it's gonna sound crazy, and this is the honest truth. I always, I've never been into politics growing up. I've always enjoyed just kind of doing my own thing, but just talking to my constituents, being a bartender before, being a realtor now, we all have the same problems. We all have the same. We get upset, and I've seen. I've honestly, I really wanted to do this because I wanted us to be heard. I'm sick and tired of us being ignored. I've been doing research into everything because I'm one of those. I believe that we deserve the right to know what's going on. We don't need to be kept behind closed doors, and I'm tired of that. And I don't know. That little voice in the back of my head kept saying, "You need to do this. You need to do this." And what's crazy is the minute I put my name in the hat, people all around town suddenly realized we have an election. Before that, I could tell you so many people that had no idea there was an election.
So, have you been following City Council for a while? And if so, what changes do you feel need to be made?
Yes, I've been going since January. I've been going to the City Council meetings. The changes that I feel need to be made, we need to hold each department more accountable instead of everyone needs to be put on a certain timeline. Otherwise, I see a lot of yeses, and I've seen a lot of great things come through. I was there when the Planes Trains automobile was unveiled. We got SkyWest, and that's a great asset. But my opinion, my personal opinion, and this is opinions of many others, is that should have been something discussed with the city, with the constituents itself, instead of just kind of kept behind closed doors. So I honestly would have made it known to the city that this is in the works instead of just having this created. So.
Okay. I want to ask you what your perspective is on several different topics. So we're kind of go bullet point here. The first one being our infrastructure, such as water lines collapsing.
Well, being that I'm not in office, I don't know the full detail of what they have in the plan. But as far as the infrastructure goes, I do realize just from the research I've been doing, just working, I've talked to the workers themselves. We are on a strict budget. And this has been from administrations, just everything leading up. For me, I think, and I believe this, and this is pretty much my answer for a lot, is turning to the community and ask the community to say, hey, I don't believe in raising taxes. I know that you have to do that, but I'm in my idea, I wanted to create I've been to many benefits. I've been to many fundraisers. Why can't this city just come together? And so to raise the funds, Why can't we come together, our city leaders create something where we can come together and have fun raising money to fix what we need to fix?
All right. What about our city streets?
Same thing. So I realized that we're on a strict budget plan, right? You know, there's 3, 5, 10 years. And for me, I've seen, please excuse me. So learning that Bell Street was on a year 3, and, you know, the money is so tight. Money's got to come from somewhere. I believe working with the community and talking to the community instead of raising the taxes. I just want to say, hey guys, we need to do something, at least make it fun together to raise funds. I also believe that we need to work with the workers a lot more, treat them with more respect, and actually pay them their overtime. There's been a lot of people unveiling some truths that they're not being treated fairly. So.
What about our rising crime and murders in our community?
Well, you know, that's a real tricky one. I believe that we have a great police force. Frank Carter is a fantastic police chief. I think they're doing their absolute best. I think, honestly, though, more community involvement, trying to create a stronger community together is going to help with those crime rates and the murders. But there's no way of predicting or just depleting. Just when someone wants to be dumb, they're going to be dumb. You can't, but us as a community, we could probably work with each other, have more of a tight-knit community, and be a little more open to the idea of trying to help your fellow man out.
All right. What about statewide pandemic mandates and the local orders from the health department?
Well, I believe that it should be up to the person to have to. It should be up to the business. That is just, I'm a middle person, and for me the balance is, if someone wants to wear their mask, let them. If someone doesn't, let them. If a business wants to say, hey, we want to do this just we believe in this, it's not my right or my say to say, hey, you can or cannot do that. So that's personal rights right there.
All right. What about dog parks and bike trails?
I think that we can learn from other cities on creating a pretty fun dog park and bike trails. Sorry. Honestly, we could really do some more. But at the same token, we need to focus more on our infrastructure and putting money and getting us out of the hole that we are in.
Downtown beautification.
I think we need a citywide beautification, not just downtown. Downtown beautification to me is finding businesses that are willing to work on using the buildings that are already present. But there's so many parts of San Angelo especially the north side, there's just parts everywhere that need to be built up as well, not just downtown.
Loss of sales tax and hot tax, hotel occupancy tax, due to the pandemic and shutdowns.
Well, that's going to come itself back up. Now I found out the hotel occupancy tax, that's a new one for me. I've been doing a little bit of research. In that whole endeavor. Money lost is money lost, but we will see it come back. We wanted to go out, we want to go see places, we want to see people come here, and now that everything's been lifted, we're gonna see that number change for the better.
All right, going to change tone a little bit. Would you be interested in seeing San Angelo become a sanctuary city for unborn children?
Yes, but on the same token, I personally would never commit something that I would take a life. That's my personal belief. But on the same token, it's not my right or my say-so for someone to say, hey, I have to go do this. I believe in good and bad karma. For my good karma is taking care of my own born child. I actually lost a child back in February of last year. And
lost a child?
Sorry, y'all, I have my kiddos here with me, so if you see me looking off, I got my babies. But To me, a baby is their precious soul, their precious life that's meant to be there, but not everyone's like that. And it's not just like it's my right to feel that, it's someone else's right to feel the way they do. So that's a tricky one. I would love for us to be a sanctuary city, but that wouldn't make it fair to any and everybody.
Okay. Would you be interested in seeing San Angelo become a sanctuary city for illegal aliens?
No. No, that one's definitely a no for me.
All right. What about, would you be interested in seeing San Angelo become a sanctuary city for the Second Amendment?
Yes. It's like when my interview with the San Angelo Freedom Fighters, yes, I would very much like for that. I believe it is our right. It's our unalienable right to be able to protect ourselves, protect our families, and those around us. There's more good people than there's bad.
What do you consider the main priorities that need to be addressed by the City Council?
Well, there's several of them. The main one being we need to find out where all the money's going, why the money's tight, stop cutting corners. But mainly, we deserve to be talked to. We deserve for someone to open the door between council and the constituents. Voting numbers are so low because people feel they're not cared about. Districts, I believe it's Districts 3, the northern side, numbers are low up there. No one takes, they let 500 people depict what they feel is good for their area, and they're just kind of being left to the wind. Any deal such as the Ford Ranch, I feel that should have been a citywide vote, not just amongst the council members and their business affiliates. I think that's something that should have been talked to. We should have been spoken to and asked our own opinions on it. Not just a little survey, not just put it on the city page. You and me speaking directly to you, saying, hey, this is what we've got in the works. We need to know your ideas, and if this is what you agree to, this is the reasons why we're doing this. This is the reasons why it could be bad, it could be good. Sorry, y'all, my babies. Go.
So, do you?
Sorry, I'm so sorry, y'all. Cause Sarah.
All right. Do you believe there is a way to trim back on the city budget and live within a modest budget without increasing taxes?
I think so. I've always been taught live within your means. My idea of doing a community-wide fundraiser, many people, many of my friends, just regular people agree. I would rather go out to a hot dog eating contest or a barbecue and have our kids in our schools. Just kind of like an old school little fair, but we use it together to raise money. I believe in that. I believe that we would do that. We would take care of our city. But I also know that we could live within our means and get ourselves out of the hole without raising taxes.
Okay, do you support freedom of speech, religion, gun rights, our Constitution as it was written?
Of course I do. That is a no-brainer.
All right. Leadership. Do you prefer the type of leadership Trump gave us or what Biden is giving us now?
Definitely Trump. To me, a good leader surrounds themselves with people smarter than themselves. For me, being mayor, you only have a certain amount of power. You don't have the power to say. Pretty much powers is hush. I'm so sorry. Sorry, y'all. Gotta be mama sometimes. A good leader. Trump was a fantastic leader. He was great at everything he did. He's very successful in every aspect, and our country was on such a great track. Problem is, he shouldn't have spoke in certain, especially Twitter. I wasn't personally offended, but there's going to be people out there that they don't know any better, and a lot of people, I feel, they have the right to their opinion just as I do, and just as you do. I do not like what the Biden administration's going to do, but in the big picture, the big picture is we can't focus on that. We can't change what's going on in D.C. That's just going to go on. But what we can fix and what we can work on is here, our hometown. If we become strong together, if we can work together and we can become a city that takes care of each other, a city that raises our kids to be the best, a city that we can, forget all of that. That's going to affect us in the long run. But in the main picture, we need to focus on ourselves.
Okay. How can San Angelo protect itself from the influx of illegals flowing over our borders?
Well, I do like that our Governor Abbott, he is putting the National Guard out there. I believe, we just have to take it as we take it. I don't have an answer for that one, I'm going to be honest. But I do know that probably we could have more officers on duty. But there's no right or wrong answer in this one, and I don't want to give y'all an answer and a promise that I can't make just due to me not being fully informed as to say, hey, yeah. So.
Okay. Final thoughts and comments that you would like to share?
Whether I'm mayor or not, I want to see each and everybody stand up and know that your voice matters in this election. You may feel it doesn't in the federal level, it's just federal level. But here in San Angelo, we need to care about each other. And if you care about your neighbor, you care about yourself, your kids, you need to stand up and make your voice be known. If you want change, if you really want to see San Angelo change for the better or for a different reason, then go out there and vote. I would love to be your mayor. I will do my best. My idea of transparency is just me talking to you, and I plan to talk to you all the time. I've talked to many of you face to face many times. But do not sit back and not vote. We need your votes. We need more of y'all to stand up and vote. Your voice matters in this town.
So if people wanted to get additional information, do you have Facebook page, website? How can they reach out to you?
You can go up. I have 2 Silvara Lawson profiles. My one already maxed out. You can add me as a friend on Facebook. I also have a Facebook page, Silvara Lawson for Mayor. And on there, I actually have a code that takes you to a survey. And it's going to ask the general questions, but I want to hear your answers. I want to hear your ideas, because my ideas are only going to be better when I hear from you.
All right, very good. Well, I appreciate your time today and wish you all the best in the upcoming election.
Thank you very much, and y'all have a wonderful day.